First Dibbs question of the day, sponsored by Trantolo and Trantolo. 3 generations of Trantolo has been helping you for over 85 years in offices in Hartford, Waterbury, Bridgeport, New Haven, and Torrington. You got a couple of new ones now in the Long Island area of New York and Riverhead and Melville. And to get a hold of Trantolo and Trantolo at any of those offices, dial 9 quickly, 844-999-9999. Do we have any objections to what, is it Mike Gundy? Mike Gundy, the Oklahoma State football coach. Do we have any problem about his comments on NIL?
I'll let Kurt play it so we know exactly what Mr. Gundy says. It's never a football season until Gundy opens the first press conference.
That's what I told the players. There's no negotiating now. Portal's over. Right. All negotiations history. Now we're playing football.
You can enjoy
just coaching and playing football.
Conference and a 12-team playoff and everything being so different, just the newness of it all.
Yeah, and the business side of what we do now is we have to have those conversations with them. Tell your agent to quit calling us and asking for more money. It's non-negotiable now. Going to start again in December. So now we're able to direct ourselves just at football, and that part is fun because there's been so much other stuff going on. It's been hard to really focus on football.
So that's the actual comment. He's not telling his players to just stop asking for so much NIL, shut it down.
No, that's not what he said.
It's not what he's saying.
Because there's an antitrust lawsuit that's going on right now. And he had talked about this before that quote is out there.
Right.
And he said, listen, the portal's over. You can't give any more NIL. And he said, if it gets settled in the next 5 months, we'll be talking about how you distribute $20 million amongst 105 people. So he's like basically saying, guys, there's no more NIL money to be had. Get your agents to stop calling me. For the next 5 months, let's just concentrate on football.
But the fact is, agents are calling this guy. And if that's the case in Oklahoma State, I'm sure it's the case in Oklahoma.
Everywhere.
And if that's the case in Oklahoma, I'm sure it's the case in Texas. You're right. So, man, the toothpaste is out of the tube here. And as much as the coaches and the NCAA want to play by their rules, they have no real collective bargaining agreement with their actual players. And if that's not going to exist, agents are going to be all day, every day for these kids. And, it's not going to be the kid's fault. This is an agent situation
right,
now.
Because the more money the agent can get for the kid, the more money the agent makes. The agent's making 5%, let's say he's making 10%,
even
whatever
1%,
he's making,
right.
even if it's 1%. If I get you $1 million, or if I get you $2 or $3 million, I make more money. So he's going to annoy the crap out of these universities to the point where Mike Gundy's like, listen, this kid's now here to play football. The negotiations are over until December when he can hit the portal again and he can leave my school.
Now, 2 things have happened since these comments that are just very interesting. One at Oklahoma State's found out today, or maybe it was yesterday, that Oklahoma State's helmets will don a QR code that can be scanned by anyone in the audience that can give NIL money to specific players or to the program. So, these kids are going to be walking billboards even more of a sense than they already were. Yes, literally will be. And I expect that to follow suit, and I expect your Jumbotrons to have a bunch of QR codes to support your athletic departments in that way. Those were already happening to support your athletic departments. This has been happening D1 through 3 for the last 25 to 50 years. But now when you can actually fund a particular player with a QR code that they wear on their jersey, this is new territory. And now Oklahoma State's starting this where, I don't know, I thought it was non-negotiable. We're just focusing on football. This is just, I don't believe it's going to get harder for these coaches. And that's why you see a lot of these legends walk away from the game because the control is not there anymore whatsoever. These coaches are basically middlemen for these agents and these players. Now, Alabama today has just hired a general manager for their football team to the tune where this guy's going to get paid $800,000 a year. According to his contract. That's a pretty awesome deal, especially if you don't have to play any of the football games or take any of the credit for the losses as a coach. But now we have general managers in Division I football. If this isn't pro sports, I don't know what pro sports are. And these guys need a collective bargaining agreement somehow, some way. And just like you're saying, like 5 months when this thing gets settled, I don't see it getting settled without any kind of representation from the player side. I don't see it getting dictated by the NCAA, the conferences, like, okay, here's the money that we're going to allow you to have, kinda. There's going to be more of this negotiation period, whether the NCAA sets up a window to do it or not.
I'm wondering, I mean, he's talking about $20 million. That's just Oklahoma State, right? Alabama, Clemson, Georgia. What if we're talking $50 million over 105 people?
Right.
What if we're talking $100 million over 105 people? I mean, that's if they decide that the universities can pay these players as employees, like you said, they've destroyed the toothpaste tube. It's all over the place.
Yeah, there is no more toothpaste.
No, there's no more toothpaste. All right. Let's talk about, we're not going to make picks. We're just going to talk about the picks we are going to make eventually.
Yes.
Next.